Thank you for joining us here at 4 o'clock. I'm Troy Hayden. New video. Look at this, showing the moment the facade of a building completely crashes to the ground in North Phoenix. There it goes right there. Frightening scene. Phoenix Fire says, believe it or not, nobody was hurt. Happened at Greenway and Cave Creek. Sean Rice is live. And Sean, I mean, those stores were open behind it, right? People going in and out. You talk about a close call.
Yeah. Anybody could have been walking right below that facade. Thankfully, though, we're hearing from Phoenix Fire that nobody was. And when you hear roof collapse, you can't help but wonder, was anybody beneath the rubble when something like this came down? You have that pit in your stomach, but thankfully, that was not the case here today. This was only a partial roof collapse. We are right next to where this happened. As you can see to my right, some of the roof tiles here just strewn all throughout this parking lot, some of these parking spaces here. Look at this massive piece of stucco that just completely came down from this awning or facade area. As we go a little bit to the right, you can see more roof tiles, and you can see all of these pieces of wood that are just coming down, and as Juice pans up, just straight down from where all of this happened at about 11:45 this morning. Let's take it back to that surveillance video. This is from a business right across the street. It shows it all come down at once. Witnesses reported hearing a loud boom before coming outside of other businesses to the left and right of these two to see exactly what happened. Fire crews used cameras and listening devices to make sure that nobody was underneath the rubble, a combination of wood and those roof tiles. Thankfully, they tell us nobody was underneath it. They cleared both businesses. It's a Mexican food restaurant and a hookah lounge. They report no injuries were reported from inside either business. Thankfully so. Two cars parked right below the facade were hit by some of that falling debris. And one witness we spoke with tells us she ran right to both cars moments after this all happened to make sure that nobody was inside those cars either.
It's usually pretty busy, so thank God nobody was really parked there except for, I think, the owners of those two vehicles are theirs. So I'm not sure, but I think that it's their vehicles. And I went after the crash came down. We went to go and make sure nobody was sitting in the truck because I couldn't tell because of the tint on the window.
And Phoenix Fire crews confirmed that there are no electrical hazards inside either business and no fires were started because of this collapse. It was no doubt a scary scene, but as we've been here for the last several hours, it feels as though the damage we're seeing here is more cosmetic than anything else. It was actually a pretty windy day all throughout this morning, and it remains a little bit of a windy day this afternoon. We don't know if one wind gust could have brought this entire awning or facade down. I imagine Phoenix Fire are wondering and looking into whether or not a wind gust of some kind could have brought this down. Was the construction good enough? We just don't know at this point. One witness reported seeing a hole in the facade for several days before this. She thinks that could have contributed to this, but fire investigators were out here for several hours this afternoon. I imagine they'll be back tomorrow to work to learn exactly what could have brought this entire facade down. Troy, we'll send it back to you.
Yeah, and you talk about dangerous. There's ceramic tile on there, which is very, very heavy. And just looking at the building, I would imagine it's probably maybe developed in the 80s. So you're talking about it sitting there for 40 years. Think of all the monsoon storms, the rainstorms, the hailstorms that it's gone through,
yeah.
And then out of the blue just dropping off the building today. So odd.
Yeah. Phoenix Fire described this as an add-on. So this is not something that is a part of the initial construction of this strip mall. So this was done, we believe a long time ago, a couple decades ago, but still something like this shouldn't happen for construction on a facade or an awning like this. But no doubt Phoenix Fire investigators working to learn exactly how it happened.
Yeah, and so lucky nobody was trapped under there. Sean, good reporting. Thank you.